Welcome back to another BBM5. We're going on 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. Back-to-back daily uploads. Can we make it 3 tomorrow? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We will be taking AJ Brown. Just keeping it simple. Don't really need to explain why I'm taking AJ Brown. Feels like a pretty straightforward pick there. He is the end of a tier. I guess I could explain that. He's the last one where it feels like it has solidified production amongst the first round picks, because with AJ Brown's last pick where you stop having questions. Garrett Wilson, he's got Aaron Rodgers, man. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's got David Montgomery, man. Marvin Harrison, rookie. Drake London, Kirk Cousins Achilles / QB situation, so the list goes on. But all of these players before AJ Brown, including him, you got no questions. You know who they are. You know what their role is. I guess you could potentially argue that Brees, maybe, but like they drafted Jags, man. Like I am a fan of Isaiah Davis, but it's not like he's gonna be taken away from Brees' fantasy production. So enough said about that. It is May 19th. This is our 11th overall BBM draft, if I can remember correctly. Maybe number 12. It's either 11 or 12. Going Jonathan Taylor with our second pick. If you're new to the channel, big Jonathan Taylor fan. If you're not new to the channel, you know how much of fans we are of Jonathan Taylor. Makes too much sense. They didn't draft anyone. The person behind him, we are the resident Evan Hull haters. We definitely think he's kind of mid at football, just from what I've seen from him at the collegiate level. Not really too impressed, and we saw a decent amount of work from him in the preseason, and I wasn't really blown away by anything there. So, like, if you're not able to average 4 yards per carry in the preseason, I don't know. Like, obviously you're playing with backup offensive linemen, but like everyone's a backup, So like you have chances to flash, and he never really impressed for me. Obviously, this is all a small sample size, but it's what we think, It's what we're going with. Also, what's going on here? Kyron falling to the 1-2 turn. Big value drop. So if we get the opportunity to, we're 100% going to be drafting Jalen Hurts on this team. The premium stack is just too much. If we're betting on AJ Brown to pay off this pick, that means we're betting that Jalen Hurts is throwing him the ball efficiently. And if that's happening, Jalen Hurts is probably doing pretty well himself too, because his rushing upside is secure, barring any sort of, weird injury, because they didn't ban the tush push. So we can lock in a bunch of points. Josh Allen has fallen to us, which is interesting, but I mean, we do have AJ Brown. So this does just feel pretty clean to me. I like, if either of these people take Jalen Hurts, I wouldn't even blame them. He's such a great player for fantasy. And you can backstack him with Dallas Goedert. So I don't even hate it. We're not giving them the opportunity. Period. Just getting it out of the way now. Derrick Henry here is very interesting, but I would need to slam 3 receivers in a row, and I have to pray that I like him if I do that. If I don't go that route, I can take, say, Flowers. I can take Dell. Um, it man, I'm just gonna go Zay Flowers. I love Derrick Henry, man, and it's Derrick Henry in the 4th round when we know he's on the Ravens. That's like the disgusting part of that pick. This dude doesn't care. Reborn doesn't care. Does not give a fuck. 3rd RB. Come to Reborn's team. Again, we talked about it yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go watch the video. A lot of good theory if you care about that stuff for how to build a best ball team and roster construction. The little nifty stuff like that. And I just don't think that we can be able to get to enough receivers that we like before round 7 if we hypothetically have at least 4, maybe even 5 receivers before 7 or at 7. If we go an RB there, it's not happening because we A, physically can't get to 5, and then B, those 4 we better really like because we're guaranteed going to be slamming 3 in a row. Because if you don't, if you end up going like 1 2 3 1 or 1 3 3, dude, you're really setting yourself up for poor advance rate at that point. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Like yeah, another way to put it. Dude, honestly, if I was TJ Bedot, what if you just like he's gonna go Lamar Andrews? That's literally what I was. Oh wait, no, this dude picked Andrews. Okay, now this really doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. This dude gets a nice little 4 receiver start with the CJ skinny stack with Diggs. Gotta be happy about that team. It's a nice little start. If Xavier Worthy fell to us, that would be ideal. That would be at ADP, but with how these rooms play out, you know, the receivers go earlier than they're supposed to every single time. So, but we do see Keenan and Christian go off the board, so we have to fade 3 picks for Worthy here. Does it happen? We'll see, hopefully, but not counting on it. If in the situation that Worthy does get picked, dude, I don't know. Like, James Cook still being on the board is kind of crazy. Yeah, Worthy goes. You hate to see it. Gone, gone are the days of guaranteed getting Worthy here. Guaranteed getting him here. His ADP was once in this round, brothers, in the 7th round. We are in May, and his ADP is already fucking 55. Lad McConkey, 56. Terry McLaurin, 57. I mean, the RBs are falling. That doesn't feel right. This feels like too many points to be passing up on. Just gonna go James Cook. James Cook at the 58 feels kind of insane. I'm not a part of the Hollywood Brown Hive. Maybe I have to be, though. I don't know. Because he's at least the 3rd option, and the 3rd option for Patrick Mahomes, hypothetically, might be pretty nice in best, but we haven't seen a good 3rd option yet in that offense passing-wise. Because it's always been Kelsey +1. Like, it was Kelsey plus Rice, and then obviously it was Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. Dude, Jordan Addison went? Oh my god. Oh, that suddenly became really disgusting. I think I have to go JSN here to try and like. I think it's JSN, boys. It's either JSN or Chris Godwin. I'm going JSN. I don't know what was right there. Chris Godwin goes right after. Dude, this is a This is turning into a piss boy room for sure. The receiver pissing that's going on right now is crazy. Look at this. Out of the last 12 picks, 10 of them have been receivers. Just an entire range getting killed. Holy fuck. The pissing continues. This is kind of crazy. And when I'm talking about like making the best objective play, the GTO thing, like you obviously got to deviate sometimes. Sometimes it's just the best move to take the falling value. You just gotta do it sometimes. Deontay goes, and that's really cringe. Not gonna lie. I think I'm going Cortland Sutton here. Jake Ferguson's also a really good pickup because of the week 17 correlation. I get with Philly. He's a pretty solid tight end piece to pick up. Both these dudes have tight ends though, so odds they go another tight end here. Not really. Not really confident they'll do that. This is definitely lining up to be at least an 8 receiver team. I don't really like the structure of 9 receivers because then half of your team is receivers. It feels like if you can hit potentially on 8 or 7 builds, that just always feels like the strongest to me in 18-man formats. So but with this receiver start, it's a little weaker, or it's honestly a lot weaker than I'd like it to be. Like the week 17 is just staring me in the face. I don't know. The debate is that I'm pretty sure Jake Ferguson is just a good pick here. We get the week 17 correlation. He's a nice tight end 1 to pick up on this team. We can as well get Dallas Goedert if we would like. Because if we pick James Cook and Jonathan Taylor, we're saying that, like, we're going to get 1.5, like, X value here. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the RB position, if I'm picking 2 RBs in the first 5 rounds, I'm predicting to get a lot of value out of these 2 running backs. So if that's the case, they likely are having decent early seasons. So maybe I don't need to go as heavy at RB in the middle rounds, and I can just slam at the later picks a bunch of running backs, a bunch of potential RB2 winners, and yeah, that's the current thought process. Because we definitely need help at receiver. Only have 4 of them. 4 through 8 rounds. It's not where we want to be ideally at all. The pool is starting to thin out for receiver. We would be stoked to get one of Curtis Samuel or Khalil Shakir. Those are important points, I think, and it's definitely a teardrop in my opinion. Yeah. And you can look at this and be like, I would never do that considering closing line value. You maybe could get him at the 106. And I'd answer to that and say I think it's almost guaranteed I wouldn't have gotten him at the 106. I think he still goes top 100. Like, if Mike Williams is going 97. I can guarantee you Cortland Sutton is going somewhere in this range at least. If not, just like, you know what I mean? So I think picking him here is completely fine closing line value wise. If you 1-to-1 him, all of these receivers, that's the reason I picked Cortland Sutton. You know, I think he's better than legit all of them. So yeah, didn't really get that much into the Cortland Sutton pick, but there's logic. So who's gone off the board here? A lot of RBs. Okay. I kind of want to go Samuel and Shakir, if that's possible. I don't know if that's possible. And crazily enough, I'm in the camp of Shakir over Samuel. But there's no chance. Fuck. Dude, damn it. Really? Why are people getting sharp on Shakir now? Why is this becoming a thing? No one's even like, that's not even a thought. It's just a piss boy room. It's literally just a piss boy room. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm probably going RB here just to get a third body in the room. Feels like the right pick to do it. And this feels like Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary definitely feels like someone that should be going in this range. As to why Tony Pollard is going here and Devin Singletary is going here, I think in 2 months, if you literally flip their names, no one would blink. Like, Devin Singletary's competition is Tyrone Tracy. Do you want to know what's really scary? The thing that'll spook you is Devin Singletary's career numbers don't look that different from Saquon's. I'm dead ass. I am so dead ass. It's haunting. You look at Saquon's career numbers, and I mean, the ACL kind of Derrick Rosed him a little bit. He'll never return to who he was pre-ACL. Obviously, it wasn't the extent of Derrick Rose because Saquon is still able to perform as like a very good running back in the NFL, but all of his metrics are on Devin Singletary's level at this point in his career. / average, you know. Because if you just take Saquon's outlier season, or not outlier season, pre-injury season, the dude is going to be like on the brink of the Hall of Fame, right? Like, he had a Christian McCaffrey-esque arc and just totally didn't get there because of bad injury luck. As simple as that. For whatever, I mean, but where I was going with that to close out that point is Devin Singletary, they paid to come over there and take Saquon's workload. And the only person they drafted behind him, it's Tyrone Tracy. All right. And he's out of Purdue. They drafted him late. I don't really think he's going to be touching Devin Singletary at all. They legit might give Devin Singletary 20 carries a game as like a floor. That might be Devin Singletary's floor, if we're going to be real. We saw them do unholy things to Saquon last year. Unholy. Truly, truly unholy. I don't want to like butcher the number, but everyone knows that one Saquon game last year where they gave him, how many carries was it, dude? How many carries was it? I'm trying to remember. It was over 35. I can say that. You should never be giving a modern running back, first of all, like over 25 unless you really need to win. right? Unless you really, really need to win. Like if you're giving CMC like over 25 and you're just trying to close out the game, you're trying to get those, I get it, right? But I'm just imagining like it's just like Saquon's a fucking horse and you're hitting him. You just keep hitting him just to go faster and faster, you know what I mean? And he's eventually going to give out. And I feel like that point has to be soon. Brian DeBull put so much mileage on him his last year. It's so fucked up, honestly. He put so much mileage on him. So we definitely want probably 1 to 2 receivers here. I like Blake Corum, so we're gonna be going Blake Corum. I think Blake Corum is a surefire riser. He's already at 130. He was mid 130s originally. So we could definitely see him jump into the early 10-11 turn range / just maybe even in the 10th. I don't think he'd ever skip any of these people, but I mean, if we're gonna be real, like a lot of the running backs really should just be going higher. I'm thinking Brandon Cooks, Jermaine Burton's not bad here. Kind of like Brandon Cooks. We get the week 17 correlation. Now we have 2 ways to get there with Jake Ferguson and Brandon Cooks, with our main proponents of AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts. And in terms of Brandon Cooks' standalone value, I'm a pretty big fan. I think that he has just his whole career, except last year. Last year's probably the only year in his career where he was not efficiently priced, but that might even be anecdotal because like the projections for him seem fine. I just think it's so hard to say why he didn't produce as well. Like CD definitely ended up eating a lot of targets. Who's to say if that was because Brandon Cooks wasn't winning as much as a receiver, or if CD was just winning so hard / he was just that much of Dak's first read, which we know he was. The CD and Dak's first read rate was one of the highest in this decade. And that offense, though, is just so prolific for passing. And, I mean, they brought in Ezekiel Elliott and got rid of Tony Pollard. And Tony Pollard was definitely looking significantly better down the stretch as he recovered from the tightrope surgery. Not to say that we love Tony Pollard, and because we've talked down on Tony Pollard this year at ADP and a bunch of stuff, but I'm just saying, like, in perspective, like he was not looking good at all early last year. He was not looking good. He did not look like a suitable NFL running back. And then you fast forward towards the end of the season, and he, in the last, 6 or 7 weeks, was PFF's #1 graded running back. So he really just needed time to recover, and now they just sent that away and are bringing in Ezekiel Elliott, which is, it feels like a joke. And what Mike McCarthy said about Ezekiel Elliott at the press conference also it just feels like a big joke. Like, what are we doing here, really? What are we doing? Marvin Mims goes. That's mildly disappointing. I definitely think I'm gonna do some Bo Nix stuff as my second quarterback, just because he's so cheap, and he's the perfect person to pair with Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts is gonna be scoring more than likely 12 weeks for me if I would make it to 17 hypothetically. Man, I just love this range. I really just love this range. Dude, I'm going Jermaine Burton. And I plan on getting one of Troy Franklin, Roman Wilson. This is such a good range. And then I'm just gonna stop at receiver once I get one of these two. There's so many potential home run picks in this range for receiver. I definitely have Michael Wilson a little too high right now. He shouldn't be that high. Dude, this one's tough. This one's tough because it's like they both legit could be the wide receiver two of their team, and I might have a potential Denver double. I'm just gonna go Roman Wilson. Oh my god. I hate myself for that pick. I hate myself. I hate myself for that pick. I feel like I had to do it. I didn't have to do it, but I feel like I had to because here's where my thought process is. Like Roman Wilson, his situation, we know that he is most likely, as of right now, going to be the Pittsburgh number 2 receiver lining up out there. And the number 2 receiver next to Pickens, I think could eat potentially really well because I just assume that teams next year with Deontay out of there are going to start doubling Pickens and just make either one of Muth or Roman Wilson beat them. That would just make sense to me. Or they're going to stuff the box and there's opportunity for both receivers to eat. It's an Arthur Smith offense, which is the most discouraging thing. That is the scary part because Arthur Smith can make players like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, really athletic generational talents just look like pretty good NFL players. Like, so do I already hate the pick a little bit? Do I still think it was the right pick? I think so. Man, I don't know. Like, I really don't know, boys. That one's a hard one. It's gonna be interesting to come back at the end of the season and see which of Roman Wilson or Troy Franklin ended up being the smash in this range. It feels like one of them is gonna smash. Both of them might. Who knows? If neither of them do, that'd be kind of crazy to me. That'd be kind of crazy. I'm going in tight end here. Someone ended up picking Tyrone Tracy. I don't really know how I feel about that. It's not a big deal, to be honest. I think we go Keaton Mitchell. The move might just be Khalil. I don't know. Going Keaton Mitchell. If we can assume Keaton Mitchell is healthy, he's the pick here every time to me. We're going Bo Nix here. Bo Nix obviously makes the most sense for us. The quarterbacks left. Don't have any Minnesota pieces. Definitely going to be trying to go Chig here as our third tight end. Maybe Theo Johnson. Tucker Kraft isn't bad either. I think the play might have been just say, so to wrap up the team, we got Jalen Hurts, Bo Nix, JT, James Cook, Devin Singletary, Blake Corum, Keaton Mitchell, AJ Brown, Zay Flowers, JSN, Cortland Sutton, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Cooks, Jermaine Burton, Roman Wilson, Jake Ferguson, Jonnu Smith, and Chig Okonkwo. It was a fun little draft. I think the only thing we messed up on was picking one too many receivers. We should have allocated one more spot to RB. Like 2, 6, 7, 3 really just is the best. It really just is. But hey, if things play out for our RBs right, this team just ends up being a really nice smash because these receivers are really nice. Definitely happy with how our receiver room played out. Love our quarterbacks. Our first 3 RBs are great. Thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next one.